What mindset do you have to heal sexual intimacy issues? We are in the middle of a series on what to do about an abusive marriage. And so I want to give you some real practical steps on how healing can begin. Make sure you stay till the end because I have some personal tips for your journey. I'm Mary Whitman Ortiz, Christian sex educator, relationship coach, author, speaker, and I love to help couples have great intimacy in marriage. So if this speaks to you, please subscribe. We have new videos every Friday. And I'm just always happy to help people. And this is one of the ways that we want to get some really solid content into your hands. So we're on part 5, and we've been talking about the way a spouse who is addicted, how they might become abusive in the marriage, and specifically how this relates to sexual intimacy. That's typically when I see couples is they have identified they have some kind of issue with their sexual intimacy, not sure what to do about it, and we do some some back work, some historical work to find out how did this happen, what's actually going on. And in a previous video, I shared with you the sexual intimacy spectrum. And there are extremes. So one end would be that place of being abused or feeling used. And then the other extreme is that place of being expressive and healthy. So in order to begin that healing, there are different solutions for each place along the spectrum. And that's what I want to share with you today. If you've already identified where you are on the sexual intimacy spectrum, then you will know what you need at this point to get towards healthy. We're always trying to get towards a healthier, more expressive, freedom, openness, connection in the marriage. All right, I'm going to begin at the extreme end of the spectrum that deals with someone who is abused. Maybe you haven't called it that yet, but maybe you feel used. And we had a whole list of adjectives for that in a previous video. But if you have identified that, wow, yeah, things are not right in my marriage, here's what you need. You need self-respect, strong self-respect, all kinds of steps to build up your self-respect so you feel empowered and you're strong with your identity. And that will help you right now in the middle of this place in your marriage. And regardless of any decisions you make going forward, a strong sense of self, that confidence renewed, all of that will help you. So let's move along on the spectrum, and the next place is feeling suppressed. So that's that time when your ideas, your dreams, your wishes are just kind of pushed down, and maybe not just by you, but also your spouse. So at that point, a solution would be to awaken your dreams. You know, they've been dormant for so long, but we want to stir up hope. Those things that you wanted, that you identified a long time ago, they're still viable. And you can give yourself permission to dream again. And we want to affirm who you are. Your thoughts matter, your feelings matter, your needs matter. If you've experienced a season in your marriage where it didn't feel like you were important or valued, this is the point to speak as much encouragement as possible. And then we have kind of that middle point in the spectrum where you are unsure and uncomfortable. So, what I love to do at that place with clients is share success stories because we need to build up your anticipation that yes, you can know success in your marriage. Also, I also like to give baby steps. These are things that you can do and feel like it's not too much. I was able to handle that. And a lot of that falls under self care. So when you appreciate yourself, you set the tone for respect, and then you can learn how to gauge, am I feeling respected by my spouse, and how can I guide them towards respecting me more? And then we head towards the healthy side of this spectrum. And this is the point where someone is learning. They realize, okay, I understand things are not quite right, and I want to pursue healthy intimacy. So they are on board with that. And as I mentioned earlier, we might dig a little deep because this is a more secure place, and it won't throw you off to begin to consider, how did these ideas come to form in my mind? Was it a cultural expectation? Was there a message from my church community that caused me to believe this? So we dig into that some and identify what the limitations are. A lot of courage at this point, but then we prompt for more connection. And connection happens in so many ways. I always encourage people with their connection with God, because the way He sees you is the best expression of your identity. I also encourage them to connect with themselves. So that would be giving yourself grace and space during the day to identify feelings, to know, hey, I can have a sigh of relief right now because it's okay. It's just okay how things are. So connecting with yourself, connecting with your spouse, which can be a lot of fun if that's sort of a new experience for you. And then we get to the happy, healthy extreme on the sexual intimacy spectrum about expressing yourself. So, for people who are ready to express themselves more, then I dive into some really specific sexual activities. One of these would be identifying your preferences, the things that you don't like, being able to share that. Another area that comes up often in regards to sexual intimacy is about the different desires men and women have and how to engage arousal, and knowing what those steps could be for you personally. And then I have one of my fun things to give out that is a sex script. And really, this is just giving you language to use before, during, after sexual intimacy so that it gets you on the same page as your spouse. So, as you can see, of those 5 areas on the sexual intimacy spectrum, the solutions are very, very different. And maybe you're saying, gosh, Mary, that was just too much too fast. Well, I would be happy to walk through that with you. This is a part of the coaching that I offer. You never have to feel alone or feel like you have to face this by yourself. And truly, I know I've been there. God brought such amazing healing to my life, and that's why I get to work with couples all over the world in some of these stages of healing, wherever they find themselves in their marriage. So, thanks so much for watching today. I certainly appreciate it. Remember that great intimacy is one of God's gifts to marriage.